Back to your original question. Newcomb's Ranch is, we're going to buy it, and we're reopening it.
Hello, folks. Welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast. Today's episode is brought to you, as always, by Off the Record. Off the Record is the #1 service for fighting your tickets. Look, we all get tickets. Good drivers can still get a ticket. Reckless drivers just get bigger tickets. But either way, when you get a ticket, you don't want to deal with it yourself. You don't want to just pay it and hope it goes away, because it won't go away. It'll go on your insurance. It could even affect your employment, certainly your bank account. But Off the Record is here to help. Off the Record is a service national in the U.S. that connects you with a qualified attorney who can fight those tickets pretty much no matter where in the country you got it. They'll assign you an attorney in that jurisdiction. They'll work with the prosecutor. They'll go to court. They'll fight that ticket for you. The goal being to get those points off your record and help you go about your life. So go to offtherecord.com/TST or download the Off the Record app and use code TSTPOD on the Off the Record app. Either of those methods will get you 10% off legal services with Off the Record. Again, that's offtherecord.com/TST or download the app and use code TSTPOD to get 10% off all legal services from our friends at Off the Record. Do it, have it in your pocket, have that app ready to go, and that way if you get pulled over, it's not Panic City. You've got someone in your corner. Off the Record is there for you. Friends don't let friends plead guilty. Let's go with the show. All right, it's a crew show today on the Smoking Tire Podcast, and we're joined by our old pal J Ryan. Jay is the organizer of the Good Vibes Breakfast Club every Friday at Newcomb's Ranch, which he's buying. This restaurant's been closed since COVID, and he's buying it and reopening it and making it a destination for people who love cars, motorcycles, and the Angeles Forest like we do. We also talk about DeLoreans a lot, which is a weird thing. It's J Ryan on the Smoking Tire Podcast. Let's go. Fucking put your mic where it's supposed to go.
All right.
You fucking
you
know.
still do all this?
Huh?
You still
I
all
don't
this?
wear headphones because I'm loud. But
okay,
people do wear headphones sometimes.
I don't care.
You just gotta maintain
The only regret I have about this studio is that mic stand isn't drilled 6 inches left.
We can change anything, but you
I know.
remember originally you were going to sit over here
I know,
and
yeah.
two over there.
I know, and then we learned that was wrong.
We can, it's not as bad as it looks. I was pretty careful because you spent a fortune on this table.
I know,
that I made really small screw holes.
And we could
for all
probably fill them in with
really
something
think so.
that you wouldn't see anymore.
I genuinely think
but
so.
But it's everyone who sits there, the thing is at full, it's at full stretch.
Because this is camera, right? This is where you've set up?
No, it's just because from where I sat, it just made sense. But now I don't sit there. Now I sit here because the SEO says they need the logo behind me for the clips.
Makes sense.
That's why.
Truthfully, if that's your biggest regret, I feel like we nailed it.
Yeah, the biggest regret. Yeah, 3 holes that were drilled maybe 6 inches off. It's about everything else in this studio works basically perfectly.
How long ago was that? It was during
2020.
COVID. It was?
Yeah, it was like May, June 2020. We're gonna get new cameras soon. I think. I mean, you say that like it's a certainty, and these are terrible. But the fact is, no one's ever actually complained about them.
No, it's not the quality issue for me. I think about Zach over there and the ones and zeros of it all. And when we upgraded ours to the newer iPhones, it just made a world of difference for the machine, like the brain machine.
Oh, really?
It didn't struggle as much. It was like, we're all speaking the same language.
Should we get the new iPad Pro also? Because that's the same iPad we've been using.
Yeah, but that was, what'd you say, 4 years ago? It should be good.
Yeah.
I mean, if you feel like throwing money into the studio, new cameras and a new control room.
I don't feel like throwing money into the studio, but I will if we have to.
I think we need some new cameras. I don't think we need the iPad.
It's a lot wiser than us throwing money at hotel rooms in Pahrump to make a video nobody watched.
Okay. Was it about cars? Maybe the search got confused. Pahrump and cars don't always go together.
If I made a video about prostitutes in Pahrump, it would probably do better.
So I was thinking the Bunny Ranch.
Yeah, that's Carson City.
Excuse me. Dennis died, I know that.
Sherry's Ranch and the Chicken Ranch are the two in Pahrump.
Okay.
Ask me why I know that.
I don't want to know why you know that.
Ask me which one I hold a card to.
Oh, no. They do the lineup? I learned about the lineup just the other day.
Lineups are no good.
Free sandwich?
Yeah, lineups are no good. Huh?
Is it, you have a punch card? You get a free sandwich?
I would get free hotel rooms for a while. It's been man, we're talking it's been 10 years, but there was a time.
Sure.
I had
Oh, you're a married fella now.
Yeah. This is way before that.
Yeah.
But like, there were free hotel rooms with a punch card.
I slept on the floor of one once.
Yeah. It was.
Oh
I
my
did.
goodness!
Listen,
I don't know
that's
if that's
how-
better or worse.
That's how we value engineered Spring Mountain shoots.
There was a hierarchy. I was the new person.
Okay, so you get the floor.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys go back. People just look at you now.
Bro,
and they're
when
like,
I was,
got
like,
a big show.
we were
Everything's all shiny and
broke.
polished.
Yeah.
Like, that's how broke.
There was the struggle bus was pretty.
I was
real.
not going to go back to waiting tables at any means, and boy, did that prove true. I was like, I'll sleep on the
Yeah.
floor of this whorehouse hotel.
Yeah, it was real. And what was really funny is like when you'd go to that place, like after
No plugs, please. No
after
plugs.
the Optima like Ultimate Streetcar
I can pay for this ad.
Invitational.
Yeah.
You know, like when everybody's at Spring Mountain and everyone thought that they would go there and not see everybody else from the event.
Oh,
it's like,
God.
you're here too.
There's
That
a
was the
scene in
second
Mad
race.
Men like that.
Yeah.
There is?
Yeah, where the guy goes and he sees his father-in-law at the joint.
Yeah, it was awkward.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But no, you don't want, the lineup is awkward. You don't want to do that. It's like, you're just like, yeah. No,
Looks
that's
like the
weird.
worst. I'll just have
That's
a drink at the
weird.
bar. Thank you.
See, that's the move.
Really?
That's yeah. You chill at the bar and then be fun.
Oh, attract them to you.
Well, just like imagine that you're in a regular bar, but that where you have a chance with anybody. Not a chance, a fucking lock. With
Yeah, that's right.
With any of the women.
It's like being a woman at a bar.
It's like exactly,
It is.
exactly,
Good
100%, and that is a much more entertaining experience than the very awkward lineup situation.
I can't relate to any of it. It's all
That's
just from
okay.
the movies and TV for me.
I mean, movies and TV don't lie that much about it. It's pretty much.
No, the HBO show was really there, right?
Yeah,
that was
that
real?
was at the Dennis Hoff joint. Yeah,
which
yeah.
Carson City, as I now know.
Yikes. I'm just. I mean, you ever been to Carson City?
No, I don't know.
Not-
Maybe driven through it. I don't know. Probably
Yeah,
not.
you wouldn't remember it. It's not good.
Oh, I thought you were referring to that specific.
To the Bunny Ranch?
Yeah.
I went to the Bunny Ranch. It was a stop on Bull Run. Because of course it was.
Nailed
in
it.
2009 or
On
something.
brand.
The Bunny Ranch was a stop on Bull. Was it a stop? No, it wasn't on one of the real rallies. It was a stop on the Bull Run TV show. When they did the reality show. Wow. There was a stop there. It was one of the challenges. You had to get the girls to like pose on no, not one of the challenges to bone. You had to get the girls to like pose with your car. Was one of the things. So we went there and like it was pretty dusty and not that the other
geez.
ones aren't. But
What are the Google reviews? Do you use Yelp or Google? Because like Europe, Google they use Google
it's
for
never
restaurants,
occurred
but
to
not
me
Yelp.
to read the Google reviews of a brothel, but now I've got an activity for when I get home later.
Stay off the comments.
I'd love to read the comment section about a fucking brothel. That would be amazing.
No, that's
And
like
when
the
they-
comment
when they
section in
clap
Pornhub.
back.
You're like, who built their profile?
That's
left
the best.
feedback.
I mean, that's fantastic.
Incredible.
There's profiles on. Excuse me.
There- yeah,
you
you
guys
could-
are just
you could-
illuminating the whole world to me.
You didn't know that porn has a comment section?
It does.
I mean, I guess I.
Why does it?
Why
We
wouldn't
don't
it?
know.
It's the same as YouTube infrastructure wise.
In my days, it was a VHS cassette or a magazine.
Oh,
so
boy.
you
Are
know
we
what
the
I'm
same
saying?
age?
Listen, you're the same age as us. As close
yeah,
as
is that
makes,
true?
As close as makes absolutely no difference.
Yeah, I guess you're
you
right.
might even be younger. So, how old are you?
46.
Okay, you're
Oh, you're
older,
a
but
little
not
older,
by
okay.
much.
Okay.
So yeah, this isn't a generational thing. I had a VHS tape too at one point.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had one. No, we all.
Yeah, one. That's
It
right.
always starts with
It was
one.
taped. It was a redub of somebody else's.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course it was.
That's hilarious.
One section particularly fuzzy.
Mixtape or
Yeah.
just or
Oh,
album?
mixtape?
Did you have a mixtape or an album? You know what I mean?
No, I believe it had a
Can't believe we're
plot.
talking about this. Hilarious.
I think it was
Voter
the point that
James 05.
it had some kind of a plot. Yeah. Right.
Well, we've warmed it up,
course.
I think.
One of our fans says it's 4.4 stars on Google reviews of the Bunny Ranch.
Really? 4.4?
But out of 10.
That's fucking funny.
I think 4. Let's see. Is that
4 out of 5 sounds great.
That's pretty good.
But what are we reviewing?
Wow, yeah.
Are we reviewing the cleanliness of the restrooms? Are we reviewing how quickly we
find
get
out.
a drink at the bar?
I'm sure we can find out exactly what they're reviewing.
Or is it specifically, I'm reviewing Crystal and my experience with her?
Well, there are girls that have... Oh, no, the first review on top.
Wait, but Richard Reardon, wasn't he the mayor of something?
That can't be that person's real name. Nobody would review the Bunny Ranch under their real name, although
someone will.
People seem to.
But am I wrong? Wasn't that the mayor of LA at one point?
5 stars.
Richard
The first thing
Reardon.
you'll notice about Melody Rose is her stunning beauty, but that's the beginning. She's kind, attentive. So he's reviewing a single girl.
You're right. That's not what I expected.
And yeah, there are people. The first couple reviews are reviewing individual females.
Jay,
to be
amazing
clear,
memory. Richard Reardon was the 39th mayor of Los Angeles
Yes.
from 93 to 2001, and he was a decorated Korean War veteran, military commander.
So here's the thing. That's probably a trolley name. On the other hand, the real Richard Reardon is of an age where maybe it's
possible.
not.
It's
And
possible.
he does not know that is a public.
5 stars.
Well, see, that was
5 stars.
3 months
Like
ago.
Fletch, 5 stars.
He
Is he alive?
died in April of last year, so that's
Hang
probably
on,
not him.
this is 3 months ago.
3 months ago.
Different
So
guy.
I wonder who if there was a trust document putting someone in charge of his online profiles, and someone just continued
Legacy.
it. by-
Legacy.
Yeah. Got all his passwords upon death. It's like his grandson. His grandson got all the passwords and is just
That's right. It should
just
say Richard Reardon the third.
Just reviewing this one's for Gramps. Melody was great. Grandpa would have. These are all fucking these people's whole names. I mean, they're
Because
probably
it's
not
their actual Google profile,
They're probably
right?
not real, but like, what?
Chris True? Come on.
Chris True's review
Do you think his
4
name's
months
real?
ago says Shelby was helpful,
What?
pointed me towards the minority. Great success.
What does that mean?
Now,
Very nice.
That is
Great success.
Do you think that means what I think it means?
I went to the Bunny Ranch because my wife.
I'm gonna.
I asked
hope
for the
it's
minority.
Auto spell check or auto spell that messed something up for him.
What could minority?
I want it to be anything other than what is there.
Well, no, I think maybe he was looking for the minority and couldn't find it.
Wow. I mean, I think these are.
And Shelby was
misspelled clitoris.
very helpful.
Wow. Keep going down. These look like real people's names. I mean, there's no
This is the best sentence.
actual bunnies here, just beautiful women.
Not a zoo. 1 star.
You're going to be disappointed
That's,
if you came
see,
here
that's
for the bunnies.
fucking funny.
My kids came here for.
AF, that's got to be
Air Force Amy. Air Force Amy's still
from the
fucking
show.
there. Yeah. And she was like an OG then, and that show was 10 years ago.
20 years ago.
Maybe more. Yeah, maybe more. Yeah.
I feel like it came on after Real Sex.
Oh, here's a profile named Habibi. Habibi's says Mando Wayne recommended this place. Best experience I've ever had. Thank you, Mando.
Oh,
Thanks,
boy.
Habibi.
Here we go.
It's more
This
of
is what I
a
was looking
review for his friend.
I wanted a review of the drinks. 100. They gave him 100.
All right,
I was
wait.
looking. Oh, here we got a. All right.
This one, a 1 star. A complete dissatisfactory experience. The pay, not worth
Wow.
it. The girls are exquisite, but the one I received could not do a basic sloppy toppy 5,000.
Oh, my
Which
Oh, this is.
somebody on Patreon
Keep
needs to. Also, they wouldn't let me have my son's birthday party here, and he just turned 18.
That
Listen.
seems like a troll account.
Sloppy Toppy 5000
Well, this
is
is a woman's
the
name.
greatest username ever for a Patreon member. Someone please change your username to that.
That's amazing. That's
You
amazing.
think that's a
I just wanted to see if it's a thing.
oh,
There you
in
go.
Urban Dictionary, a sloppy toppy 5000 is the act of pulling off a play in Fortnite when you're at a significant disadvantage. Huh.
I respect this person. This is the weirdest way to troll this business.
147 thumbs up on that. That's a useful review. Yeah, I could do this all day. This is the fucking. Guess
but
what? Guess what? The entire show is now just us reading reviews
From a
of
brothel.
weird shit.
Okay.
Not just brothels, but we need reviews of like pill mill drug dealers.
oh,
you
is this
know,
all Vegas stuff? Wait,
Are they on Google?
It's
Pill mills?
Yeah. You mean like a Florida doctor's office where
Yeah,
they like
probably.
OxyContin for.
Yeah, it's probably not advertised as like pill mill MD, but it's we could find them.
You got a hangnail? OxyContin.
Yeah. Anyway, That's a fucking great way to get it. Thanks. That helps me forget about my shelf that's bending.
I was debating whether or not to bring
I
it
give
up.
with
Fucking
both
guys
hands.
come in this morning and they go, this shelf is sagging a little bit. Like, oh, cool.
If there's
Cool.
if there's a general tone today,
Yeah.
it's because
Sagging shelf. Yeah.
I noticed it and didn't
always
say anything.
start with the furniture being imperfect.
it's worse. It's a built-in.
Yeah, custom.
You could rearrange the furniture.
One of one, yeah.
You got a floor jack. Just push that thing back up.
We could.
We need a transmission
That's
jack.
what it would be. Yeah.
No, just
Or an
a
engine
floor
lift.
jack. A floor jack with a pole on it could
Yeah.
probably
Oh, that's true.
probably do it.
Okay.
You know,
Vinny will have a fix.
I'm sure he will. He'll probably break it worse first. What the fuck is happening at Newcomb's Ranch, Jay?
Oh, I don't want to talk about it. Speaking of brothels,
Yeah,
Nice,
used to be
nice.
right. Has a
rumor.
history.
that's what we were.
Right.
I've always heard. I've never got an
Pre-Google-
official word of that from
pre-Google
anyone
reviews,
who's
unfortunately.
used
They're
it
all
that
dead
way.
now.
Richard
right.
Reagan's dad would review it.
Who that fucking used it as a brothel is still alive?
Yeah, that's a
Nicholson?
good question. I wonder at what point in its
He's like 85, right?
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson? Yeah, he's 85. Where did that rumor come from?
I don't know,
Oh.
but it's floated around forever, and everyone seems to know. My uncle or my whatever, somebody has a story. Everybody always seems to have a story.
we need to
It's
collect
one of those
those.
places. It's so old that everybody has a story. I've been going there since whenever.
Yeah, it's old enough that like one of everything has happened there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for L.A., it's probably one of the oldest buildings, right? Because the land was settled in 1875, which is way old for here.
I just found out that there's a building in LA that goes back to like the 1700s. And it's literally like it's the least impressive building. Like it's like a bullshit nothing. It's not
Where and what? What is it?
It's basically like a strip mall.
Okay.
Seriously, Zach, just Google oldest building in Los Angeles. It's like it's not even a strip mall. It's like a little shitty office.
It's not historic or anything. It just happens to have
It's
been
this,
there a long time.
Avila Adobe. Oh, that's residence, oldest standing residence. This
still.
isn't it. Keep going down. That's the oldest residence. It's the where did I just see this? 11 of the oldest buildings in California on California.com. This is oldest homes, but this building was like an office or like a commercial building, and I think they called it. I don't know. We don't need to spend that much time on this. But the point is, it was a deeply uninteresting building.
And what was it? 100 years old?
No, it was like late 1700s.
Oh, you said 1700s.
Yeah, yeah.
So what was here geographically at that?
Missionaries and stuff. I mean, and like frontier trading post kind of thing.
100 years before, 150 years before the gold rush, right? That's 1849.
I don't even. Was the gold rush even in Southern
Down
California?
here, not really,
That was like
probably not.
Sacramento to San Francisco
I think
corridor,
you're right. So what the hell is this area famous for? Just the movies? Charlie Chaplin?
I mean, it was fucking probably Mexico at that point.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It was
San
not
Diego,
Yeah,
LA. Yeah.
It was probably like where Mexicans and Native Americans traded with pioneer type folks.
wild.
Yeah, but it was just like it's like a little square nothing building with a porch. It just doesn't.
Yeah,
And
but-
now it's like it's like a law office or something.
But growing up where we grew up, like 100 years old is a kind of a new building. I mean,
Yeah.
in New England and in that part of the country, like
Yeah.
everything is 400 years old. That's not a big deal.
That's one of the things I don't love about California is that there isn't anything old. And
They rewrite
going
it.
back east, it's nice to see some old stuff. Going to Europe, where you see
yeah.
some really old stuff. You know, we drank at a pub in England that was open in like 1140. I mean, that's old.
That's old.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I really like that. That's cool to me.
1140. Holy crap, old.
When I was in Belgium, I think it was Brussels. I think it was when I went to Brussels, or possibly Ghent. Thaddeus and I
Now
drank.
you're just saying names.
No, those are real places. Ghent is really cool. I think it was in Ghent. We drank in a pub that opened in like 940, and
Wow.
it had been run by, generations of the same family. Like it's been under single family ownership for 1,000+ years.
That's
Yes, crazy.
a hell of a calling card.
Yeah. There's a hotel in, I want to say it's in Japan, that is the oldest single-family operation, and it's been going since like, I don't know, 50, 60 generations or something.
Is that one of those places with the staircases in the mountains?
Kind of. Yeah, kind of.
Batman Begins.
Yeah. It looks like a monastery of some kind. Yeah. It
That's
is
what
like
I'm picturing.
That. Yeah, it's like a 40-room hotel. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Back to your original question. Newcomb's Ranch is, we're going to buy it, and we're reopening it.
Guys, we got to take one quick break from the action for Delete Me. Today's podcast is brought to you by Delete Me, and man, are they a key service, right? How would you like to wake up in the morning and discover that your bank account has been emptied? Or you get overdue notices for credit cards you never applied for? Or even worse, right? You don't realize how much of your information is available to scammers on the internet and how susceptible you and your family are to identity theft and fraud. But now you can get your data scrubbed from the internet with Delete Me. I personally recommend Delete Me because they are the very best at this. It's a subscription service that removes your personal info from the largest people search databases on the web, and in the process helps prevent potential ID theft, doxing, phishing scams, and more, right? Your bank account could be compromised, your medical records, your mortgage, your car payments. I mean, you know, your credit could get wrecked. Delete Me is clutch. It's not just a one-time service. Delete Me is always working for you, constantly monitoring and removing the personal information that you don't want on the internet. To put it simply, Delete Me does all the hard work of wiping you and your family's personal info off the web. Data brokers absolutely hate Delete Me. When you sign up, Delete Me immediately goes to work scrubbing all your personal information from data broker platforms, and your personal profile is no longer theirs to sell. So take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me, now at a special discount for our listeners. Today you can get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/tire and then use promo code TIRE at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/tire and enter code TIRE at checkout. That's the only way to get 20% off. Joindeleteme.com/tire and then code TIRE. And thank you to Delete Me for sponsoring this week's shows. Okay.
Isn't that crazy?
Woo!
Because that is crazy, especially because I saw a post on Instagram the other day that advertised it for sale.
Where?
On Instagram.
No, but by who?
By somebody running. No?
Nah. I mean, somebody might have done something, but it's not anything official from any one of us.
Oh, all right. All right.
Yeah.
So I saw this and I was like, oh, it's the whole thing. Is it Dunzo?
No.
Oh, all right.
No, God. Jesus Christ.
Some two bit whack job.
I'd be way worse than you are today.
If you
it
found
was
out on
Gonzo.
Instagram, that would suck.
Yeah, no. I mean, no, I can't get into details, obviously, with how it's getting done, but I mean, it is happening. I can tell you for sure, because of all the headaches and the sleepless nights, it's definitely happening. Freddie was going to try to be here today, actually, the existing owner.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Except he's stuck on a mountain or something?
Sort of, something similar, yeah. Stuck somewhere. Yeah, we can't get into the details, but it's been closed for 4 years. It's been on the market for a few years. Everybody kind of, since the beginning, has been asking us when we were going to get involved. And we're like, we've got our own problems. You know, my wife's story, she's got MS, and like, we don't have jobs, we don't have money, we don't have the credit for this. Like, what the hell are you talking about? How can we do that? And cut to a few years later, sign us up, we're in.
Well, it's a valuable asset to the community. I mean, we just fucking put it on the cover of a magazine.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I assume you had something to do with our involvement in Road and Track. Thank you very much for that.
Yes, that was Zach. That was in fact one of it wasn't my ultimate decision, but I did initiate that conversation.
We all had a feeling. Thank you so much.
And then I couldn't make it for the photo shoot. So,
You're welcome.
I was like in another country when that was happening. But
the photographer was amazing, by the way. Shout out to Andre.
Yeah,
really amazing.
Andre's very talented, and the issue has got this very sort of washed out sort of film, vibe.
It's got a retro-y collectible vibe to it.
They wanted as much of the issue shot on film as possible.
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh, okay. So that was intentional.
Yeah, yeah. So they shot for the pieces that I did. They shot almost 100% of it on film. So, and in fact, they shot almost 100% on film, and of the photos that made it into the magazine, it was, I think, 100% was film. Wow. So yeah, it's a great issue. Apparently, the sales of this issue have been very strong.
Everyone I know who tries to go find it at a newsstand, even the newsstands alone are hard to find, but then they can't find it because they're sold out.
Yeah, this is going to be crazy. Did you know you can buy individual issues of Road and Track on Amazon? Seriously.
Like, because somebody packages them, or legitimately through?
No, like legitimately through Hearst Autos. You can buy current and back issues, brand new from Hearst via an Amazon store.
Not only will I do that, I'll tell everyone to do that. That's amazing.
I mean, it sucks because, fuck Jeff Bezos, but also you don't have to go around to every newsstand and try to find it.
Or Barnes and Noble, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to support local booksellers, and so if you can support a local mom and pop newsstand, that is great. But if you can't find it or there isn't one near you, it is possible to get one.
That's amazing because they don't have them at grocery stores
I know.
or any of the places we used to go. Walden Books when we were young.
I know. It's fucking annoying.
Bunny Ranch has them. That's right.
New income stream.
Anyway, that was a really a huge honor that I still can't believe. When I was a kid, there was kind of like the three big car magazines, and I would get them all periodically from time to time, but the only one that I maintained a subscription always was Road and Track.
Me too.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I like working there. It's not because they pay me well. It's not. They don't pay me well at all.
Fine.
I just like the business card, and I like the team. I like working with them. But that's it. I've been offered better writing jobs, but I want to work for the magazine that I grew up reading. So.
That's rad. That's really rad.
And I'm going to use that when I need it later. But does it bother you at all? I mean, obviously not because you participated, but do you have any second thoughts about this thing that is sort of unofficial, off the grid, and takes place at a business that is, as of today, closed? Does publicity bother you for that kind of stuff?
The answer has changed over the years. I would have said way back when, 100%. We didn't used to do any of this stuff. You know that. We would kind of talk about it here ancillarily, almost in code, and that's about it. Nowadays that we're buying Newcombs and I need to support a business, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
If you don't like the crowd, the new day will be for Thursday instead or something. You know what I mean? We'll figure out a workaround. Fridays have blown up, but you know what? They blew up way before we did this, as far as I'm concerned. It became public knowledge over COVID, and then the world knew about it. So we kind of feel like the spot's already been blown up.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do about it at this point.
So why not lean into it? Was our feeling, and then if we're opening the business, we're like, well. Yes.
Yeah. Well, the good news about it is it's so far from anything else that there's not a lot of neighbors to anger.
No.
Right?
No, we really just kind of have to maintain the relationships with the agencies that patrol the area. But one of my favorite things about the article was how it almost sounds like they're telling you not to come here. Here's the thing. It's a pain in the ass. There's no bathrooms. There's no food. It's a pain in the ass to get here. We kind of felt like that would weed out a lot of.
It might in the interim, but once there are food and bathrooms, then that may change the situation. I mean, I don't mind it. I plan and I contribute by bringing 2 of those big fucking Starbucks things every time. That's sort of my duty is to do that. But I do think that once there is food. Once there is indoor lounging space, once there are bathrooms, that I'll probably stay longer.
Right.
I think it's
especially when you don't have to lug your jugs of coffee up the hill anymore. That'll be
I'll
convenient.
come a little later and I'll stay a little longer. but it's.
That's going to be our new phrase. That'll be the slogan. Come a little later, stay a little longer.
Well, and Zach and I saw firsthand when we were in England, the success of Caffeine and Machine, which now has 3 locations. They went from 1 to 2 to 3 in almost just over 6 months. I mean, the first one, they were open for like 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
And then they opened a second one and then a third one within like 6 months. And so those places are incredibly popular to the point where they have to sell tickets. Not because they're greedy and money grubbing, but it's actually because there are neighbors there and they need to control the flow of crowds and not have it be a complete shit show.
I think that we will probably need to do that because the days where, like Black Friday or whenever there's a holiday weekend or something and it's, 6 turnouts away, just totally fine. I mean, that's...
Yeah.
So
we probably should have a concert.
They were
permit
just
for that.
overloaded. People were like parked down the street, and obviously it was causing big problems. And so they're kind of solution because before anybody freaks out about the tickets, they sell a ticket, but you get like a free cup of coffee with the ticket.
Right.
And
It's not about the money.
Bingo. It's just about controlling the crowd.
The ticket's like $15 and you get a free beer or a free coffee or whatever. It's like ultimately it's nothing.
Right.
But it just keeps it from being a nightmare.
And it makes you kind of reserve a space ahead of time, sort of, so that even the spot knows what you're going to get. Yeah. So all that stuff is to be considered.
I mean, space is fixed. Like there's only so much of it.
Yeah.
So, but man, the challenges of like every little thing being 27 miles up the road.
It's like building on Hawaii. It's like doing stuff in Hawaii. You have to get everything here before you even turn a screw.
Yeah. And then like you're at such a, the whim of the weather. Like if it snows, fucked. If there's a rock slide, big fucked.
Yeah.
We
the goal would be to not rely on selling hamburgers and chili.
Yeah.
Like that would almost sort of be ancillary. The goal would be to tie in with the professional side of our industry with
filming locations,
press
launch locations
for all of Hollywood type movies and TV shows and everything, but especially for the manufacturers for ride and drives and press launches and things like that. We would love to tie into that stuff, offering overnight capacity as well as the food and the space, to do the seminar and the cars out front, and then obviously that a crazy road. We see things like that actually probably paying the rent, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then the general store. Merch and stuff like that. Having a place, an actual brick and mortar where people can go buy a thing or whatever.
Yeah.
To support Newcomb's Ranch or get an adventure pass or whatever it is if they're hiking or cycling.
Well, we were just at with Road and Track. We were just on Tail of the Dragon, and you've been there. Mm-hmm. You've been to Deal's Gap.
Is that the restaurant?
It's Deal's Gap is the motorcycle. It's a restaurant and a hotel, like a motel.
Yeah.
At the south end of Tail of the Dragon.
I've never been, but I know where you're talking about.
I was there on a Friday, and it was crazy. I mean, it was so crazy. Like
good crazy?
It's just super busy.
Super
busy.
It was the parking lot of the hotel looked like the paddock for Pikes Peak. And what I mean is people had trailered their motorcycles from all over, set up a pop tent in front of their motel room and had a fucking pit. I mean, they had jugs of fuel. The bikes are, and there's trailers and trucks all over the place, and they're barbecuing fucking out front. There is a restaurant there, and there's like a store, but like I was just like, this is nuts.
Wow. No,
yeah,
that's crazy.
It was real crazy. And
it wasn't a particular event. It was just these people are going to go drive.
It was a Friday.
They're going to go ride the dragon.
Yeah, they had trailered their bikes from who knows where.
Yeah.
To go drive the dragon.
Kind of feels like more of a bragging rights thing at this point. Like people go just to say they did it because I don't. One time I went anyway, it wasn't like a super enjoyable experience or anything.
No,
I agree.
It was
not
a
the best road in the area.
A lot of traffic, a lot of cars. So you were just kind
But
of.
it has become like a destination. I mean, it is the mecca of curvy roads down there, and people especially. I mean, I've in-laws from Florida, and a lot of their friends will travel to Deal's Gap because Florida doesn't have any turns or any twisty roads,
right?
And because it has this restaurant, it's started to pull people in. So people could find a quote better road like probably halfway between Florida and that spot. But if there's no, magnet there, if there's no business and no culture, then why would you do that instead of going to the cool thing?
It's like the forest here. If you go early in the morning,
okay,
you can enjoy the road at a reasonable pace and not be held up by a Harley.
Makes perfect sense.
If you go at 11 a.m. on a Saturday, it's slow as shit. It sucks. But, it's
that makes
same
sense.
thing, dude. Go drive Angeles Crest at noon on a Sunday. Is that fun? Fuck no. It's the same kind of thing. Look, all I was trying to get at with that is that place is not that nice. You know what I mean? It's probably not even as nice as Newcomb's Ranch in the current state.
Sure.
But they're making a lot of money down there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hub for everything.
Does their road close like ours does? Obviously, they might get a random storm or a washout or something.
No, I don't think it's often.
Okay.
No,
I think
it's
the tarmac there is really
snow.
It doesn't have the same elevation as ours either, right? Tail the Dragon is up, but it's not like a mile in the
I
air.
want to say it's maybe 1,500
That's
feet
what I
or
was
something.
thinking.
Yeah. The conditions there are usually mild either way.
Right.
It rains. I drove it in a fucking whiteout of fog once,
Ooh.
which was very slow and frustrating and
Sure.
challenging. It was really hard. And there's other roads around there too, but that somewhere between the Caffeine and Machine, which is sort of a cultural hub, and Deal's Gap, which is the thing that exists on the good road, is sort of where I see you.
I think it's kind of,
being.
but I think Deal's Gap is kind of a cultural hub of motorcycles. It's not
Sure.
Like when I was there last time, the main parking lot was stuffed with bikes, and then across the street there's that other little ancillary building business, where they sell shirts and stuff. That's where the cars had been sequestered.
Oh,
that's where there were 8 tuner cars in that gravel lot near that business, and then everything else was motorcycles.
Yeah.
That'll all have to be figured out, too, because there are a lot of different communities that celebrate Newcomb's Ranch and Angeles Crest.
Well, yeah, I mean, you want to be open to, hikers and cyclists and all that kind of stuff, too.
Yeah, and in the old and the bikers. And there was a time when it kind of was you didn't necessarily pull into the parking lot because you weren't sure what was in there. We want to, like Pee-wee's Big Adventure, it's off limits! We want to
no guns.
curtail that feeling, but still have everybody be welcome. You know,
Sure.
so it's all going to be a balance.
That's doable.
I think it'll work.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
you
Everybody who
ever-
comes up there is pretty respectful.
Yeah.
Because what's nice is that it's farther. I think it's farther away than Deal's Gap is from Maryville, Knoxville. So it maybe not Knoxville, but Maryville.
I mean, Deal's Gap is at the other end of the Dragon from Knoxville. So you have to drive the entire end of Tail the Dragon.
But you can
But it's not that
shortcut through other. I think there's cities that are slightly closer, whereas
sure.
Newcomb's is 48 minutes from anything.
Yeah.
Right. I think that helps kind of weed some groups out or people out, but you'll figure it out. Do you know how long? And maybe you can't talk about what the estimate is between purchase time and open, or is a full renovation going to happen?
No, it's luckily there's not a full renovation. We want to keep as much of what people know about Newcomb's there as possible. I mean, we're going to change stuff, but it's going to be decor. The layout should pretty much stay the same. We're going to utilize the spaces a little bit better than they did. It was kind of always just restaurant bar everywhere. And, we've kind of compartmentalized a little bit. So, the bar is the bar, the store is the store. There's kind of a library, kind of a more informal dining kind of room, where the fireplace is and the pool table. And then the other room that people know is the Chileo room, the bigger room at the end. That's going to become a space for live events, for live podcasts, comedy, music, anything. We're building a stage, getting a piano, the whole thing.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that'll be really cool. It'll be interesting to see people's willingness to go up there at night.
Yeah, and night is, we'll see about that.
I mean,
it might be an evening, afternoon,
sure some
evening.
will, but it'll be interesting to see what that level of commitment is from people,
Yeah, and we don't. Yeah, it's tough. It's going to be interesting. It's not going to be like the kind of bar that's open until 2 a.m, obviously.
No, but even Caffeine and Machine, I think closes at 9 p.m.
Kind of what we were thinking.
Yeah, it's
In that
really
neighborhood.
it's a day spot. It's meant as a day place.
If it become, Newcomb's is not known in our lifetime anyway for its overnight capacity. But if we're able to bring that portion back, then later hours sort of can make sense if you've got overnight capacity.
Right.
Yeah, well, I mean, Caffeine and Machine, and I use it as an example because I think it's such a good example, and shout out to Phil and his team. I mean, I love those guys, and I think they did such a great job. Each of their locations has like 7 rooms, hotel rooms.
Okay.
And you just had it up. Their hotel rooms are like, they're not super fancy. They're nice. They're like right on their Instagram their website.
I'll find it real quick.
It was there. Go to history. It was just there. The hotel rooms are I mean, they're just upstairs,
Oh, look at that. That's cool.
I'd say they're
you sent
pretty
me a
fancy
link.
feeling for like for the exterior of the building. It's really nicely appointed inside, like not mid-century modern, but like iron, and it was really well done for a pretty simple hotel room that has a bathroom, and there's like a little cart with tea trays and stuff, but it's done as nicely as possible. Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
like,
that.
And simple.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of simple.
It's
That's
really
the
well
original one right
appointed.
there. That's the one that we did our live show at, and it actually, both upstairs levels, there was 2 upstairs levels were hotel rooms, so there was like 8 hotel rooms. They were very
cool.
nice, and they actually had some really smart solutions so that it was not staffed 24 hours.
Right.
So like
we're trying to get creative with stuff like that.
Right. So they had like a breakfast thing that they would put in the fridge in your room so that you had like a breakfast before the staff even came in, and they had in their retail store, they had a lot of not just really good merch that evolved constantly, but stuff by local artists and sort of like artisan stuff, really like cool. Little like granolas and things.
I love that. I mean, you know this already, and you do too. But like the impetus for us doing this is it's for the community. When our life went to hell with Nicole's illness and everything, like the community was there to support us, and then we were trying to find some way to like give back to the community because we're not super wealthy and we don't have the resources we used to at one time. And then this whole Newcombs thing came around, and then it became, oh, this is it. This is how we do it. We bring this back, we serve the community, get the general store going, and basically do it for them. And that's when all the doors started to open. And to answer your question from earlier, because I'm like a scatterbrain with all this Red Bull and stuff, we were hoping to close July 1st. That doesn't look possible, but we're hoping to close August 1st.
Wow.
Yeah. So the 4th of July hopeful party became a Labor Day party, but whatever.
Right.
It is what it is.
And like, you're pretty handy.
Thanks.
Like, you are. You're pretty handy.
Yeah.
But that building hasn't really been occupied for there's literally spice jars in the kitchen from 2020. And so that's going to be
They just left. They just put their pencils down and left because nobody said, "Hey, we're going to shut this restaurant down forever." Wow. It was like,
we're closing for 2 weeks
because the government said
while we figure out what's going on.
Totally,
right.
yes.
It is like a relic. It's like The Last of Us, where you go in the building. It's like everyone just ran away.
Kind
of left everything going.
I mean, we've been working on it for 6 months or so, as you know. But when we first walked, you took a tour when it was
because when I found out it was for sale, I thought that maybe I could do this, and then I realized I didn't want to. Certainly not at the original asking price. No, and the difference is at the original asking price, which was, I don't want to say how much more it was than what you guys are going to be paying, but it was a lot more.
Right.
It was very optimistic of them. But at the original asking price, you couldn't keep the building. Keeping the building and using it as a store and restaurant and gathering spot was not an option.
Not possible. I agree.
You'd have to build a faithful but brand new hotel, resort type thing. And I would have done it in a way, I mean, I would have, assuming I had $50 million in 10 years, which I do not fucking have. I hope I have 10 years, but I don't have $50 million. You'd have to build something that would earn enough money,
right,
12 months a year,
right,
that it would have been worth the price of the place, and so at a much reduced price, thank you landslides.
Yeah. Well,
Then it makes more sense to use what's there.
Yeah.
The business model makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, for sure. Our, we've been close with that family for a long, long time. Just since we started the Friday thing, I think they've just always been supportive of us, and then we began a friendship, and on and on and on. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, the money almost doesn't matter to us because we don't have it in the first place. It's sort of not our money. So, throw a number out there.
You've
it doesn't
just
matter.
learned how Wall Street works. Congratulations.
Yeah, right. Totally.
You just went to business school.
Thank you very much.
When it's not your money, it doesn't fucking matter.
Let me just move the tassel over. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. So, yeah, everything you're saying sort of makes sense. But for us, we never would have been interested in that. And I think, once we did get involved in this, our first order of business was to get that line of thinking out of the equation. So we sort of if you remember, it was listed with fancy Beverly Hills agents, and it was.
I remember the guy who showed me around.
Okay,
he showed up in a suit.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that.
So they were really sort of betting on this being some sort of convertible, investable, what you were talking about. You'd have to knock it all down.
You
and
bulldoze
build
it.
Right.
Yeah, you bulldoze it, and you use the 10 or whatever acres it is to
develop the shit out of it.
I mean, I wouldn't say develop the shit out of it, but it would be boutique hotel, restaurant, maybe spa that is focused on, the area, and which for the right person, is a possible thing. But not for fucking, I don't know anything about restaurants or hotels, and I certainly don't want to, knowing what I know about construction, I certainly don't want to build a building from scratch way the fuck up a mountain. No thanks, man. Yeah. That's crazy. And so I that's when I was out. But I'm glad that it is not going to be, because there was going to be that someone who came in and...
Yeah, I didn't know if you'd want to tell that part. Yeah, I mean truthfully, it was the tipping point for us was when somebody did come in with a lot of money and a solid plan and renderings and, all of the stuff where they were going to do what you said and turn it into something else. Yeah. And I don't even think what they wanted to do would have ever actually come to fruition and gotten approved and been built and everything. But in the meantime, they would have totally raised Newcomb's ranch and it would have been gone and we wouldn't be able to get it back. When that happened is when Nicole and I sort of got involved. We're like, well, look, we can't do this, but could we actually pool some resources and figure this shit out? And that's when we did get involved. So it's sort of like a saving Newcomb's ranch project more than even reopening Newcomb's ranch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The story is actually kind of cool because it was going to go away. They had a lot of money and it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, but these nice people.
Yeah. Well, and it's hard because the building and parts of the building are in kind of rough shape and do need major work.
Yep.
I mean, that upstairs is no bueno.
It'd be great in Halloween time. We've got a great wicked haunted house up there.
Yeah, you could definitely shoot an indie horror flick up there for fucking sure.
Yeah, Blair Witch.
And so, and also you just you wonder what the appreciation level is for the history of this physical building versus what do people want out of a restaurant and a hangout and whatever.
You are describing the balance that's going on in my head now, trying to crunch that aspect of it, kind of creatively.
But it's at the price that you guys are talking about, which is still a lot of money, but it's at least there's an opportunity for math to work.
Yeah, it's not just a pipe dream.
Yeah, it's not I'm going to buy this and try and sell fucking hamburgers and coffee and T-shirts, and somehow we have to get to a number that is virtually impossible to do. Impossible. Especially if one snowstorm means you can't open for 3 weeks or something.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they'll want to shoot a movie in the wintertime up there that week.
Well, yeah. Do you think that once there is a business up there that
The plows would go.
The
all the way up
plows
there.
would make
Yeah.
it more of a priority to keep the road open, even when they otherwise might not have.
I certainly don't know, but I would imagine once there's a business paying taxes and operating again, that there would be a little bit more incentive than there is when there isn't.
Since anything, yeah.
Yeah,
That
I mean,
Wrightwood ski area is
dude, that would
for
be great.
sale,
Once
too.
Mount Waterman.
Oh right,
In
yeah,
Mount Waterman,
Mount
and
Waterman.
they used to be the same. It was all founded by
It was all
settled
one
by
property?
Newcombs. Yeah,
No one bought Mount Waterman yet, right?
not yet. I did meet some people that were interested in it, though. The current owners brought the perspectives over to say hello because they were like, "Well, here's the new Newcombs people."
Yeah.
Seems to be a lot of historic stuff turning over lately. I mean, Willow obviously going on.
Yeah.
Last time I was here was with
$60
Amelia.
million for that.
Oh, I heard
it
more than
more?
that.
Is
I
it
heard
more?
I heard 80.
80?
Yeah.
Let me tell you what I'm not spending 80 on. Yuck. Fucking no thanks, bro. But the ski area I saw and I'm sure this is debatable and possibly not fact, but I'm going to say it anyway. There's a caveat, asterisk. This is possibly not fact. On the post where Mount Waterman was for sale, the top comment on the post was, "My dad is in the snowmaking industry." He said the reason this Mount Waterman can't be successful is because they don't have the adequate snowmaking equipment.
The infrastructure, right.
They don't have the water supply up there to make enough snow. And if there is enough natural snow to make the skiing good, then more than 50% of the time the road is closed.
Wow.
So
It's
that's
tough.
sort of a catch-22 where you can't have good skiing without natural snow, and if there's a lot of natural snow, you can't fucking get there.
No.
So as a commercial enterprise, maybe that's not the best, but
They
as
were
a-
open more than I thought they were this year. I said I thought they were only open a couple of days, and he's like, "No, we had like 6.5 weeks or whatever." And that was, again, it would have been more, but for the road probably.
6.5 weeks doesn't seem like much.
That's not a season.
That's
no.
like a fucking Halloween store. That's like a Halloween
Spirit
costume store.
Spirit store.
Spirit Ski Mountain.
And those
hilarious.
fuckers convert to Christmas for 6 weeks after
You're right.
that.
You're right.
You
You're
know?
right. So they get 3 months out of it.
Yeah.
I hate to do this, but can I use the restroom real quick? You guys have stuff to talk about.
You are not a professional radio. This is some fucking bullshit,
Just pause and chop it out.
I guess. Fucking just sit here and twiddle our thumbs for.
Or we could talk about
That's what happens
your
when you
lucid
drink.
drive.
What is this garbage he's drinking? Coconut berry Red Bull.
But
This
it's blue.
is this Red Bull's attempt to rebrand as something healthy?
They make a bunch of different flavors now because they realized our drink tastes like shit.
Yeah.
And they were first mover advantage, and wow, have I never seen a better example of it. But people are drinking other things now. You can get caffeine elsewhere.
This has 75% of your daily sugar in it. 75.
How many grams?
38.
Less than a Coca-Cola, but that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That is a lot.
Jeez.
Now that I'm like trying to be more like carb conscious, I need anything that goes in my body needs to be like single
Yeah,
digits
totally.
of that percentage. I don't think I've eaten anything in the last year and a half that had that high
My
sugar
stomach
content in it.
rejects it, but not the way it came in. It gets ushered out the back. It's like, get the
Yeah.
fuck out of here. We don't want you in here.
While we're waiting for Mr. Pissenstein over there, they dropped off the Sapphire
You
this morning.
passed me in traffic today.
Oh,
saw
did
it.
I?
Yeah, I was
Oh.
like, Blue Sapphire. There he is. Yeah.
Dude, that thing. I did one. I hit the floorboard with the throttle for about 3/4 of a second in the middle mode, and I went, "Well, this is deeply uncomfortable." Yeah. I immediately felt slightly dizzy. This is
1,000 horsepower
This
immediately.
is way too much power. We didn't. I have
one?
I have a Lucid Sapphire right now.
Oh.
Which we're taking to Sonoma tomorrow. We're going to a track day. with
Oh, geez.
Yeah, not a public track day, a private one, but still,
It's a lot of weight.
it's 1,234 horsepower. It's a lot of power.
It's great.
It's a lot of power, and it's 10-piston ceramic front brakes.
So when you said you got dizzy, that's like fighter jet syndrome. Like the blood rushed out of your head.
Yeah, it was deeply uncomfortable. It was not great. While you were gone, we were talking about the amount of sugar in this drink.
Oh, let's hear it. How bad is it?
38 grams. It's 75% of your daily value of sugar. That's not good, buddy.
So I shouldn't have 2 of these?
You should not.
All right.
That's not good.
That explains it.
The diabetes. Hey,
This
are
started
you
on-
legit alternating a Red Bull and a coffee?
Respect.
This is my. This is how I'm getting
not
through the
talking
day
shit.
these days. It's gasoline.
Did you see the Are You Garbage clip on Instagram that was like, is it bad if I wash down my anti-anxiety medication with a Monster Energy?
Wow. Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah, that is
It's not good. It's
that
not
is
good.
garbage.
You know what we're dealing with, and the days
Yeah.
are days are nights, and nights are days. Like everything is just upside down right
Yeah.
now, and it's this is
Have
gasoline
you gotten
keeps
to the
me
point
going.
yet where you have figured out what it costs to get food supplies to fucking Newcomb's Ranch?
Yeah, it's not as bad as we thought it would
Really?
be. Yeah, thankfully, like Cisco and all the big ones deliver to the Christian camp and a couple other places anyway.
Oh, okay.
So
Wow, you're
we
in
can
the
just
area.
get on their
The
route.
route. Oh, okay.
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
I don't know about everything, I mean,
Yeah,
there might
yeah.
be certain things we need to deal with, but like some of the bigger ones are already coming up.
Okay,
there.
well, that's helpful.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Pate might be hard to come by.
That's right.
Like,
Yeah, foie gras.
Foie gras or, yeah.
I think there's actually a good opportunity to do like pop-ups with chefs and stuff.
Oh, I'd love that.
Like barbecue pop-ups and shit like that. Would
Yeah,
would
that'd be great.
Yeah, it would be really cool.
And just a fun draw that's not just car stuff. Like, come on up here for some awesome grub.
I'm so excited for you. It's so cool. I think you guys are going to do a great job running it and having just a better place for everyone to land. I think the community that goes will expand because it'll have bathrooms and other things, and like people can hang out longer, and it'll just be a little bit more comfortable, and it'll become a destination for a bunch of different like driving clubs and things. I think it's going to be great.
The idea is that it's hospitable for all. So thank you for saying that, because
But-
that would be like
But
the
also,
perfect
it'll be
scenario.
open on the weekend, which a lot of people can't come up there on a Friday morning. So yeah, it'll be rad.
Yeah,
You guys
and then
are
the
great
new
curators.
the new quiet day will be Thursday morning.
I mean, what Caffeine and Machine does to a great success is to do themed nights where it's there'll be British cars on Thursdays.
Oh, sure,
Japanese cars on Tuesdays and stuff like that, to not only give people a reason to come on odd days, but to actually sort of gap things out.
So the question was going to be: are they open 7 days a week, or is it portioned out? Because
think
like
so.
we're going to portion it out. I
they're
think
open 7 days a week, maybe 6. But like, yeah, they're. I don't think maybe they didn't start that way. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure they are now.
our goal would be to have the store, the general store, open at least 6 days a week, and then to get the restaurant open at least 4 days a week.
Yeah, I mean, look, as
the
someone who
Thursday through
runs a
Sunday.
7-day-a-week business, it's extremely stressful, and
Yeah.
I don't recommend it if you don't have to.
Growing up in the East
And-
Coast, all the restaurants were closed on Mondays. Do you remember that?
Yeah, here too.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot
Is
of
that
a lot of
normal still?
Yeah. Going out to dinner on a Monday in LA is you run into a lot of places that close.
So we
I would
keep that tradition kind of
I
thing.
completely agree, and I don't think anybody would mind. It's
Parking lot's still open. The general store's still open. You can still use the bathrooms and
Yeah.
get your soda or whatever.
Sure, yeah, but if you like, with our business here, it has to be 7 days a week.
Yeah.
It just has to. You don't want to say, yeah, we're keeping your car and you can't get
All
it on this
parking
day.
lots need to be open
It has
for
to
7
be.
days a week.
Yeah, but
Parking lot.
parking lots, all parking lots, every day, open to the public. But like, no one expects a restaurant to be open 7 days a week. People aren't, unless it's like a fucking McDonald's. Like, no one is mad if a restaurant's not open 7 days.
Yeah. I
And
hope
you-
so. I hope that's the
and
case.
The problem with 7 days a week is A, you're stressed constantly, but B, if you have to be open more than 5 days a week, you need to have overlapping shifts. That's where, like, 5 days a week, if you've got 4 employees, they all work from on Monday to Friday or whatever, right? You don't need to have 50% more people than the hours.
No, that's a good point.
It's way more expensive to be open 7 days a week than it is to be open 5 days a week, and not just because of those 2 days. It's because you can't have those same employees. And then you can't have... You probably won't have a day, or it's harder to have a day where you can have full staff meetings because of the total coverage.
Sure.
Not everyone's going to be there at the same time.
Makes perfect
so,
sense.
like, it just the shit that I learned by running a 7-day-a-week business. It's like, oh fuck, that's right. Oh fuck, yeah, and it just becomes it's a lot more work than you need. You know?
Right. Yeah.
certainly
We're
right
going to have
now.
our work cut out for us in every regard, I think.
Yeah, and it's not going to be fucking easy, but you don't need to do things that people don't. The market doesn't demand that this business goes from being closed for 4 years to being open
24/7. That's right. Take the
days a
locks
week.
off the door.
Yeah, like nobody's expecting that.
Yeah,
So,
fair enough.
So
The response from the community, everybody has been so overwhelmingly positive. Of
course.
That, like, it's one of those if you build it, they will come kind of situations. Like, we've been waiting for you.
I mean, they're
Well,
going,
they're already
and it's
going.
only half built. So, yeah.
yeah, they're already going. So
You've been market testing for 4 years with no bathrooms and nothing to offer at all. So
Yeah.
it makes sense, man.
yeah. Although I really only do go up there on Fridays, so I don't know how many cars pass on a Tuesday or anything like that. Have you sat up there on the really quiet days and just counted cars?
You got the clicker?
Sound like Rain Man. We're counting cars.
Yeah,
We're counting
yeah.
cars.
7.
We have been up there on days where I'm just kind of putzing around doing things, repairs or whatever. And when it's quiet, anybody who goes by, it seems like more than 50% of them stop.
Uh-huh.
And usually, if we're there working, the door's open or whatever, and it's always, is the bathroom working? Are you open? Can we buy whatever the heck? I'm thinking once the road is open, that will bring a little bit more traffic. And then once Wrightwood's open, then through traffic.
Oh, where does it's closed on the other way too?
Yeah, it's been closed there longer. It's because the washouts are worse. I would say
Really?
next year.
How
on
far
that
can
one.
you go past?
Just past the tunnels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then it becomes a Caltrans District 8, so it's a District 8 at that gate past the tunnels. So then it's a different team working.
Oh, okay.
I know. I learned all this stuff.
Yeah, you're tight with Caltrans now.
Everybody, all of them. Yeah, it's like I've got the speed dial for everybody, whether it's the Forest Service, the Caltrans, the Sheriff's Department, Montrose Search and Rescue.
Did you get to go up in the helicopter? You were putting up a bunch of pictures recently. It's
I
like,
didn't, but they said that maybe we could when they're close to done with their thing, because it's a private private contractor doing it. So it's not like Caltrans who
they
would say like,
installing
no, you're not allowed to because of liability or whatever. This is like, well, we own the equipment, so we can do whatever we
When
want.
I was up there filming the other day, they had a helicopter and then they had 2 guys dangling off a fucking rope.
Yep.
I don't know what they were doing, but they were going down the Big Tahunga Canyon.
Yep.
The whole way down
awesome.
with the 2 guys.
That's rad.
Yeah, it seemed like fun.
They're contractors for Edison, believe it or not, and they're redoing something to do with all of the electric
Power
poles in
Oh,
the
yeah, it's
whole
the quickest way to get
forest.
them. That's right.
Yeah.
The ranch was on generator power for a couple months while they did their work.
So cool.
I mean, they provided it, they maintained it, they serviced it, fueled it up and everything.
Yeah.
But and the funny thing was the generator was behind the fence at Newcomb's, but it didn't feed the ranch. It fed up a cable up the hill and fed the pole. So the generators were powering the grid,
Oh,
and
wow.
then we were sucking off
How
the grid.
interesting. I wonder why that's
Got to be able to
easier.
charge us, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. So it was
Keep the
metered.
meters running.
So it was
Yeah.
metered. Oh, how interesting. Oh, yeah, okay.
I don't know how it all works, but I'm learning all of the
Yeah, that's funky.
infrastructure is pretty wild up there.
Oh, I bet it's so fucking janky.
Well, yeah, because the area was settled before the government.
Yeah.
There was no national park
Have you
up
considered mining in the backyard?
No shit.
Yeah.
As you said, that was more Northern California, but I'm
You might
not
find,
opposed.
like a cache of gold back
Yeah,
there.
there's
Like,
gold
hey,
in them
no one
hills.
dug here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine.
Let's go to the Patreon. We've got a bunch. Of course, patreon.com/the Smoking Tire Podcast is where you get your questions in.
Can I ask you a question too before everybody else? Uh-huh. What about Willow Springs? Do you have any thoughts on that? Have you guys talked about it already?
We haven't. I just heard. I knew it's.
Do you know
I saw it was up for
Amelia's making a
sale.
play for it?
Nick told me about it, and I wanted to find out more about that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, last time I was here was with Amelia, and I sent her a message the moment I heard about it. I was like, the parallels to this story are very, very similar, obviously.
I can't imagine that's legit. She's not.
I don't know.
Who would back? Who's backing that?
I think glass half full. If you've looked at Cleus McFarland's success with his track,
He paid $1 million.
I know
for
he
that,
did.
not 80.
I know it's a bigger lift.
It was
but,
also a nothing track, though, that nobody knew about. This is world famous.
you know.
Yeah, but it's not. But it's.
Where does it come from? I don't know either.
That's-
But I do know that 6 months ago, I would have said our situation was impossible, and now it's not. So
I mean, I think we know that someone's going to buy the track, right? So if someone if there's 5 different companies or people that would be bidding for it, it would definitely be an asset to have a very famous content creator who has brand partnerships and has worked with a bunch of people, will probably be creative and make events. Like, it would make more sense than just having a company who goes, oh, we're going to buy this racetrack and then hire a consultant to run the track or something.
Right, put up condos over there and just develop it and whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about that. Like, I don't think you can turn that into a luxury racetrack place because it's just in the middle of nowhere.
It doesn't become thermal.
It doesn't. It's too far away. Like, thermal, you can fly to Palm Springs and be there in, 30 minutes, or you're next to a city. But Rosamond is 90 minutes. You have to fly to the
Air Force Base.
Yeah, right. You got to, unless you're a general
right.
or, colonel, like you got to fly to LAX and then drive. So I don't think it'll have that pull. And it's so big, you need to have so many events. I don't think you could support
600 acres,
that.
7 racetracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to turn it into a country club of some kind. Maybe it's like, oh, the streets circuit becomes the country club track. Mm-hmm. Big Willow becomes the rental competitive track, and then they do whatever. But
or create a race series? Something new comes here. They bring Formula One to Willow Springs.
Whatever happens, whoever buys it, the people who want to rent it for shoots or for track days or whatever,
I agree with
the
this.
prices will go way up because that's why they're selling it, because they're not getting the rental rates that they could possibly be getting.
Is that what it is? I don't know what the reasoning was. I thought it was just generational,
one of the
Newcomb's.
things. It could be that too, but one of the things in the listing that they talk about economic opportunity is that track days and rentals are way underpriced compared to the market.
Right.
So someone who's going to go and buy it, the first thing they're going to think is, well, now let me make this market price, and all of a sudden it costs double to rent the track what it would have cost before.
Years ago when we were producing Proving Grounds, Willow Springs was charging twice what Chuckwalla was charging for rental, which is why we filmed at Chuckwalla. So there was an era where Willow Springs was very expensive compared to other tracks we had priced out.
Yeah.
Granted, it had a little bit more pull and it was bigger, but
and
aesthetically
Chuckwalla
and stuff,
now has more infrastructure
Yes.
that can command. Because back then, Chuckwalla didn't have those little cabins.
It did when we rented it.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Okay.
For 3 seasons, it had those cabins.
okay.
But before that, I remember we went there early.
Yeah, and there was nothing.
There was a bathroom, and that was it.
Yeah.
Literally that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Chuckwalla is even further in the middle
Very
of
true.
nowhere.
Very true.
It's a better track, but it's even further in the middle. That's the problem with Willow Springs. It's not that good of a track. It's only an average track. It's got history.
Yeah.
But, how far does history go?
It's it's exciting and scary, and the runoff is a little bit
Big Willow
aggressive.
sucks.
Oh, that's the one I like.
Shitty fucking place to test a car. Yeah.
Oh, to test a car. Yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree.
I get it. It might be a good place to have a race because it's wide and it's iconic or whatever. But to test
There's
a car
some
there,
tricky shit on that. It's from between high speed and off camber. There's just a lot of
I just think it's downforce, grip, and bravery, and not skill there. It's an easy track to drive.
Oh, that's interesting. Modern cars. You're right. I forget to factor in modern cars.
It's an easy track to drive. It's 9 corners. And if you've got more downforce, grip, and bravery, you can go fast there. But if you fuck up, you have an enormous crash.
No, I see your point 100% with the modern car. I'm still thinking of Jack Olson. You know what I mean? We're just shaving off hundredths, thousandths.
Streets of Willow's better.
Oh, I hate it.
It's
really?
I've never liked it. I don't know
They
why.
repaved it. Does that help
It was
you?
better when they repaved it.
I heard it.
Because the
When they
pavement
repaved
used to
it was
be
nice.
a no-go because it was so bad. I mean, the last time I drove before they repaved it was for road and track, and there was a section that was cobblestones because there were chunks of pavement gone. It was just avoid that. What is this?
Just avoid that. Put a cone.
Yeah, once they
Put
repaved
15
it, it got
cones.
better. But there's nothing there. It's great. Not for that kind of money. I don't know.
For $80 million. And the assessment, I think, is $2.3 million. So it's
Yeah. Well, the assessment is probably just the dirt value.
Oh, yeah. I guess you're right. Well, there isn't really, all the buildings are just cinder block, right?
Yeah, if
It's
you
not
don't want a racetrack, if you wanted to build a subdivision or something, then the dirt isn't worth shit.
Well, because across the street, there's open grid lots that are the same. They're actually flatter.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't need to buy Willow Springs to develop it. There's plenty of supply
Well,
there.
the condo, you want the hillside for the condos for the
Ooh,
view.
you want the view
gotta have
of
the view.
what?
If I bought it, I'd put the condos on the hillside.
I think you'd have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
Where else would you put it? I mean,
Maybe that's the deal. You portion out a part of it. and just develop that?
I mean, no disrespect to Longmont, Rosemont area, but if I had a condo there, I'd rather be facing the track and the mountain behind it than looking from the
Yeah, I
mountain
actually
down
agree.
at the rest of it.
100% agree with you there. But even then, if you build the condos, then you got to build the Whole Foods and all of the other infrastructure to support the new people in the area.
Yeah,
The fancy people.
Unless you were going to build, thermal is literally walled in. It's a square. If you look at it from like Google Earth, it looks like a chutes and ladders board.
Totally, they use their property.
It's on a square, and everything looks in. Nothing looks out.
Right.
And so if you wanted to build that kind of a country club, everything has to look in.
Disneyland, same kind of logic, right?
Spring Mountain would be a better analysis.
Never been there.
Spring Mountain's lovely.
Really?
Yeah, it's not as like hoity-toity as thermal, but the track is bigger. There's more tracks. The tracks are bigger, and it's kind of on that sort of an undulating desert scape, sort of like, outside of a town that nobody really wants to be in. Pahrump.
Yeah.
There is more infrastructure in Pahrump by a lot than there is in Rosamond.
Spring Mountain is near Pahrump. That's why you were.
It's
over
in
there?
Pahrump. That's why we were there.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I didn't. Now I see the connection.
That's why we would go there.
I see
Would be
the
to go to. Yeah.
You see my face now. Does my reaction make more sense
just
now?
For the brothels, dude. It's fucking.
I thought there was some straight road, some Mexico road or something out there where you would.
There are. That's where Koenigsegg did the fucking the 270 whatever mile an hour. That's the road to Pahrump.
Okay.
Route 160.
Okay.
Which is one of the only places in America where you could safely go 270 miles an hour on a road.
How many? It's just 10 miles of the straight road or something.
Perfectly straight road with excellent tarmac. Yeah. But anyway, that's what it would end up look like. But fucking Spring Mountain has been building since 2009.
We went there in 2009.
Yeah, and it's probably been open for a couple of years by then, so maybe 7. So,
and none of those are 600 acres. Like 600 acres is huge.
I think Spring Mountain might be.
Is it really?
They're trying to build the largest track in North America.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they've got like 11 miles of track there.
Oh my gosh,
it's
huge.
huge.
I'm thinking of the you said the board before of thermal.
But like to do that, like you'd have to take all the tracks that are at Willow and connect them. And so you could have this one.
It's 11 continuous miles.
They're interconnected. So it's like 5 tracks that are 3 miles each that can be connected to make one crazy long track.
That's awesome.
But it's all spaghetti, right? It's all just on top of each other.
Acquired 120 acres.
Yes and no.
Okay.
I mean, yes and no.
That's what I didn't like about streets. It was all kind of.
It's not as tight as streets. It's a little more open than streets.
Okay.
I think Spring Mountain's tracks are really nice.
We just drove the Charleston Peak track, which was only a section of it.
That was
and
fantastic.
Decent straight. I mean, in a fast car, you could probably hit like 120, maybe 130. Had some big sweepers that were quick, and then some tight stuff.
Yeah, I thought that was
a nice
a very
variety.
nice track. Yeah.
They had 120 acres in 2012.
Spring Mountain did? What do they have now?
I found a press release from 2012. I can't find something updated, but
they're ever expanding. You said
it's probably more than that.
They bought all the dirt around the tracks to make it bigger. I don't know if it's 600, but it's like many hundreds.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Chris Limbright says, "What was your opinion of John Mulaney's Everybody's in L.A. as residents of the city?" I liked it actually. Did you guys watch it?
I watched half of the Seinfeld one, and it felt like it was falling apart.
Yeah.
It was. I liked the fact that he was struggling through it a little bit as like a live show that wasn't quite working.
Yeah.
I thought that was charming.
I did for a minute, and then I went, all right.
That was me, but I saw one of the first ones, and I go, oh, they haven't really, it was a little too written and a little too prepared for a live show, and that probably loosened up as the week went on, I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah, maybe I should have given the other episodes a chance. So it had some good bits and like some funny LA jokes, but then it seemed like it lost itself, but he didn't have the seasoned muscle like a Conan or someone to pick it up when it was stumbling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It became the writer's room a few times and just beat the joke, and I was like, well, I mean, you're on television, guys. It's not a podcast.
Let's see. Ryan says, if Good Vibes had a music playlist, what would be on it?
That one's interesting. I would say it's individual. Good Vibes would never have its own playlist. Everybody who comes up there is sort of they're all people who do their own thing. You're
going to pass the aux?
There is what?
You can pass the aux?
Is that what that means?
Yeah, like
the aux cable when somebody else.
You pass it to someone else.
No, I think what it comes down to is that people always say, "What is good vibes?" I'm like, I can't answer that. We didn't intend to create this thing, so it's different to everybody, and I feel like the music playlist would be as well. Whatever chills you out the most.
Okay. You are going to need music.
Oh yeah, no, but I mean like an official.
No, I know, but you will need. But there's going to have to be fucking music. Ryan says there is. There's indoor and outdoor. There'll have to be music. Ryan Fitzgerald says, I've been in LA for 3 months now. I have money. I have taste.
See. His name is Roger.
I'm not on anybody's A-list, and Saturday night is the loneliest night of the week for me.
Going in 60 seconds.
Yes. I have a Mercedes 280 SL, an E30 convertible, a Delica, and a Vespa. That's a kind of interesting collection. I lost my Audi SQ5 in an accident. I don't have a comfortable long-haul car anymore. I want to pick up a vintage 80s or 90s cruiser that would fit the current collection. I drive from Philly to Florida a few times a year and do quite a bit of 3 to 4 hour trips. Something with style and class, 50 to 100K, reliable for road trips after it's been sorted and room for 2. An early R8 crossed my mind, but I think I want something older. I want to be a connoisseur.
R3234.
Oh, a Skyline.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a Skyline would be fun. That would fit your vibe, and it does fit all the things that you did say there. 50 to 100 does get you a good one, for sure. And they are pretty reliable once they're sorted. Make sure you have someone who can work on it.
Yeah.
For sure.
And with that money, you could get an R32 and then get it California approved like Larry did, which cost, I think, a good amount of money.
I don't think he really lives in LA.
That's a good point.
He drives from Philly to Florida.
Oh, yeah, just registered in Florida.
I think he's,
3 wheels, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Skyline is a great choice. There's a lot of JDM in there that could be really good.
The Skyline? Yeah.
Well, no, and there's other JDM.
Oh, sure.
You could get a really cool Sylvia, like S15 would be fun. Or if you want to go European, you could get a Mercedes SL55 or SL65.
What generation?
Like the 2006 to 2009
Love
generation.
It. Totally. Great call.
SL65 or SL55.
That's a killer car.
Or one of those S-Class coupes.
It had the hard top. Right?
Yeah.
That's the one.
The good-looking one.
Yeah.
The 4 lights in the front.
Yep.
That 80s, 90s, that could, I mean, listen, that'll get you a Ferrari. I mean, you can get a great 308 or 328 for that kind of money. The market has softened on those a little bit right now.
Sergio brought his 512 BB up the other day. God, that was awesome.
Oh yeah, I went to Sergio's place for the first time.
Oh no!
Shout out to him.
Yeah.
To watch F1.
Oh, nice.
Fuck, man.
You went on Sunday. Yeah.
That garage is like what I wanted to do before I did the math and had to do this.
Wait, you went and watched F1?
Sergio invited me to go to his place.
And F1 happened to be on.
Yeah, I didn't care about the race.
He has F1 viewing parties.
He has F1 viewing parties.
You know how some people have a bar? Like he actually has a bar.
He has a fucking bar.
like a whole saloon bar.
This dude is fucking no joke. I don't know what he does for a living, but I wouldn't be surprised to learn he like kidnaps people or something because
he's a big time attorney.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. But he's got, I don't know, 15 cars in the building. And
constantly on rotation.
Really nicely decorated. And upper level with a fucking... His Instagram is public, right? Mm-hmm. Pops 710 Garage.
Pops Garage, yeah.
Pops 710 Garage on Instagram. And bunch of awesome cars and some lovely people. He had a fucking taco guy. He had a bartender going.
Yep.
I mean, the dude fucking
he does
did it. And if I was rocking his level of scratch, scroll down.
I like his taste too. It's the choices he
makes.
Keep
going. There on the left. That's the garage. The bar is upstairs. Actually, it looks like it's been further decorated.
Yeah,
since
this almost doesn't do it justice.
Scroll to the right. He's got this is cool.
There you go.
Look at the bar.
That's awesome.
That's fucking sick, right? Those stools are great.
And then there's one of those like fireplaces on both sides and lounge on the other.
Yeah,
Whoa.
And he's got the chandeliers in the garage. I mean, really, really fun vibe.
Ooh. There you go. That's the other side. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
That's a nice couch.
So that's where you hang out to watch F1.
So
Yeah,
we were
that.
watching some F1 and bullshitting.
I watched it on my
That
phone.
used to
like
all
a
be on
loser.
the downstairs level.
Oh, really?
where kind of the staircase is now, and we used to go all the time.
No, it's if I was rolling like this, dude, this is exactly the kind of spot I would have. Excellent. So that was my first time there, and I really, really appreciated that. Dre in Houston says, didn't we already talk this? I swear that question came up like 2 shows ago.
It did.
Dre, we love you, but we've been there.
Yeah, we did.
Mama Miata says, with Geely owning Lotus, do you think other Geely products may get the Lotus touch in the future as they continue to grow internationally? Handling by Lotus? Maybe. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Polestar gets the handling by Lotus.
Handling by Lotus, that's been a thing forever,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And the Lotus folks told us when we were in England that a lot of cars are still handling by Lotus, but they don't like to advertise it anymore.
Really?
Like they
that was
used,
such a
do you
cool
remember
little
that?
slogan. Yeah, it used to be written on the car like Pininfarina.
I was into handling by Lotus, but apparently modern car companies don't like the customer to know they've outsourced their handling to Lotus.
Oh, that makes sense. Right.
Yeah.
Why can they do it better than us?
Yeah.
Right.
Mr. X, my daily is a GT86, and relocation now means a long commute on horrible roads under construction. Any advice on suspension upgrades to take tons of nasty bumps?
Get a different car.
Well, I mean, you can also get like a expensive like KW V3 or the Öhlins.
Because of the adjustability?
The adjustability, but it might be you could adjust compression and rebound, and that might help you out. Like the Öhlins suspension that was on that Vorsteiner M3. That was like a really nice riding car, and that package, that suspension was like $2,800, which was shockingly
Seriously?
affordable. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Öhlins are not as expensive as you think they are.
yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I really did think.
Yeah. I mean, they make some really expensive stuff, but to get like Öhlins for a street car is not prohibitively expensive for many people.
Now, this person, Mr. X, you should look up the spring rates, which I know is really nerdy because you might, if the roads are really bad, I mean, I don't know what horrible means, but if we're talking like ranch roads or super pockmarked, you might just be up shit's creek and like a sports car is the wrong thing to have. Like Jay said, like you need something with big sidewall, crossover suspension, something.
Like, can you
soft.
Safari it? Ooh. Can you Safari the 86 a little
Wouldn't
bit?
that be a great? Yes, the dynamics
people
are great.
do
So
rally
fun.
them.
Yep.
Right?
There are
So
definitely rallies. There's definitely rally suspension available for that car.
That's a great idea.
I would consider a rally kit. I don't know who's making the rally kits for those, but I would consider that. And it probably would drive okay. Really.
Yes.
Probably great.
that-
Think of a Z, like an old Datsun
Isn't
Z.
that what Leah Block won the North America?
Yeah, two-wheel drive.
Two-wheel drive championship in?
Yeah.
I think it was in 86.
And they run them at Dirtfish, too. I don't know what suspensions they run at Dirtfish.
Call Dirtfish.
Yeah.
Just ask them.
Yeah.
For real. They will answer. They're nice.
Darian Lux, what car would you like to swap a 911 Turbo S powertrain into? A Cayman.
Ooh,
Would it
that would
fit?
be
You
insane.
fucking rowdy, huh? Would it fit? No.
No?
No, it won't.
It would somehow, maybe.
I mean, you could probably cut a bunch of things
Yeah.
and make it fit, but it won't just fit like regular.
Definitely not.
No.
Well, yeah. A few things in the wrong place.
Turbo S
Yeah.
powertrain.
It's a bit, they're kind of big. A lot going on
Rear
there.
engine. You got to put in something that's rear mid-engine.
DeLorean.
The
DeLorean.
new
That's the answer.
GTS.
That is the
DeLorean.
answer. That's insane.
Yeah.
It won't work. It won't fit, but it would be cool.
It wouldn't fit in a DeLorean.
No, the flat engines don't fit in stuff. There's those engines have to be behind the rear axle. Otherwise they
I
don't
know.
like fit.
But DeLorean is a rear engine. Behind the rear axle.
Kind of.
Wide body DeLorean. You got to cut it in the middle, expand it by
There's
6
a lot
inches,
of room in there.
Then it'll fit.
I think there's a reason people haven't put Porsche flat sixes into DeLoreans.
Well,
They
yeah,
would
I
have.
think-
Somebody
You're right. The
would
whole
have done
compartment
it.
is
You need
V-shaped,
You need
isn't
to
it?
be
You're
a V.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The best one we saw we drove. I don't know if you drove it. I drove it. Was the dude who did the Kia Stinger V6 in the back of the DeLorean.
Oh.
It was
I drove that car.
awesome. Did you ever
yeah.
go in it?
Yeah, when we filmed it.
It was fucking great.
Automatic?
No,
Manual.
Porsche 6-speed manual.
Excellent.
Lamborghini Nick, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was
worked.
amazing.
Really?
Yes.
So
And
what do they do to the brakes and suspension?
Ferrari 355 brakes.
Okay.
The suspension was completely custom.
Okay.
I think used Öhlins dampers, but it was completely custom.
Okay.
The guy put a lot of money into this car, and it was built by Steve Maxwell, who was a fucking lunatic in the best way.
Wow.
It was unbelievable. and he sold it for a fortune on Bring a Trailer. I think it got $248,000 on Bring a Trailer.
Oh my God!
And I think he still lost money.
No, he didn't.
He didn't. He made money.
Yeah.
Could they recreate it? Is this something they could do? I mean,
If the demand was there, sure.
The one problem really was the power on those
Steve said
cars.
he wanted to. Steve's told me that if he knew how good the end product was going to be, he would have started with a better DeLorean.
Oh,
because they
interesting.
started with sort of a janky one.
Okay.
And there was some stuff about the finished product that was imperfect because they started with kind of a janky DeLorean.
Interesting.
And he said if they had started with a great DeLorean, then it would have been even better.
Do you know if they did the stainless steel chassis? That supposedly really changed.
There was
everything.
a lot of chassis reinforcement.
Okay, so probably not then.
I don't know exactly
It
what
was
they
wild,
did.
man.
Somebody out
It
there.
was fucking fast, dude.
Yeah, it would have to be.
It was 400 and
Fucking
something
Stingers are fast.
horsepower, and with the 911 gearbox and all that stuff, like it actually drove really nice.
Wow. Yeah, that's cool.
The only thing I didn't love about it was that there was no way around this. But to put the right brakes on it, you have to then get bigger wheels.
Oversized wheels.
Yeah, and so they had the reproduction wheels from DMC that are like
1 inch bigger.
16s and 17s instead of 14s and 15s, which like they looked as good as they could look.
Yeah.
But they just don't. Nothing besides stock wheels looks right on a DeLorean.
Agreed.
But like, what are you gonna do? The brakes are fucking 10 inches. You gotta. You have to.
With that power, you need the brakes.
Yeah, there was no way around it. But
Aren't the wheels on that kind of like Alpina wheels?
Yeah,
21 spokes.
The turbo fans.
Right.
Yeah.
Got a million spokes. Yeah.
Yeah. But the proportion of the stock wheel with the stock tire is perfect for that car.
Yep.
And even if you do the same wheel 1 inch bigger, it just doesn't
Totally
look
agree
quite
with you.
right.
Just get them tiny, shitty NASCAR brakes. that they
Even
used to have to drive
Nick
with.
said the same. He's like, there was no way the brakes had to fit.
Yeah, and the
So-
stock one's like a 14-inch wheel on the front, 14
Yeah.
and 15.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
there's nothing at
And the
that
brakes
size.
on a stock car are fucking.
No, but you'd need like Datsun 510 brakes or
Yep.
something to fit on that.
That's
It's,
the
it's
Miata
not
stuff,
enough.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like people talk shit about the DeLorean's power stock. It's so slow, it's so slow. Fuck that, dude. It doesn't stop.
Try making yours a time machine and adding a lot of weight.
Right. But when I had a DeLorean, I did the stage 2 engine at DMC.
Oh,
So
you
I
did?
went- yeah. So I went
Exhaust
from
and-
100. I did the heads, the headers,
And
the
the cam.
cams,
Yeah.
everything.
Okay.
Everything but the supercharger. We didn't do the supercharger. So I was at like 210 horsepower. And the car wouldn't fucking stop. It was awful. Anyway.
We didn't
Dan
do anything.
Sheridan says, would you rather have a new Audi RS3 or a GR Corolla and a Toyota 86? Same price. I mean,
I want the two cars.
Yeah, me too, and get the different driving
Totally.
experiences.
If, like Safari the
agreed.
86 and have that be something you beat the shit out of and then drive around the GRC.
I probably wouldn't want a GR Corolla and an 86. If it was going to do that, I'd probably want a GR Corolla and a Miata.
Because you like top down.
Yeah,
'Cause
I agree.
I'd want the
I
top
agree.
down.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
And you're still getting the.
I don't need the practicality. I have a hatchback.
Still getting the shimmy.
Yeah.
you can still loosen it up.
Do the twist.
Yeah. I'd probably go Miata, but I think the RS3 is great, but assuming it didn't cost you more to just own two cars versus owning one car.
Yeah, I'm
you know?
assuming that's the same.
If you want a one car to do it all, you could do a lot worse than an RS3. RS3 is a great car.
Totally agree.
Nothing it's bad at. But I understand why and have
Not
different
manual
experiences.
though, right? It's only
Dual clutch. Yeah. Nick Sturzer, what new car would you most want to give the Safari treatment? The new Prius.
Oh shit, that's an interesting call.
I mean, have you seen the Prius Safari trends?
No.
It's mostly the last gen Priuses, but there's
Right.
people that put big ass fucking tires on them and take them wheeling.
I feel like I would almost prefer the last generation because then it sort of looks like the Subaru Outback. They're all weird and angular, but the new one is kind of pretty good
pretty,
looking.
right?
Yeah,
It's
I don't
good
know. I
looking.
kind of want to see that
Yeah, someone
with
I'm
the
sure-
brush bar on the front and the back and all that shit.
I was just kind of joking. I think probably I think the BRZ would be a good Safari car. I think that
I think
the
you
dynamics would lend itself to
You
that.
hit on that before. I agree. I'd love to actually drive that. I'd love to drive a BRZ as a Safari car.
I'm sure there's one out there.
Christian says, I thought the 992.2 GTS would be naturally aspirated, and now it's hybrid. Any rumors on a NA non-GT car? Why would he have thought that?
People think things.
That's a weird thing to have. There's
The word we were looking for was hope.
yeah.
He hoped, not thought. I hoped.
I was
Yeah.
hoping.
No. I mean, Porsche. Nah, that was never going to happen. I don't know why you were thinking that, but it was not going to happen. And I don't think they're going to do any NA non-GT cars really ever again.
Wow.
I don't think they can.
I don't think they can. I think they need the fuel efficiency.
With European regulations, and then also it keeps the GT cars more exclusive and separates them because, I mean, we've talked about this. Like from 911T to 911 Turbo, everything's turbocharged, and
Oh, yeah,
the
you're right.
difference in sensation. I mean, from T to Turbo is different, but from like GTS to Turbo or from T to S, like it's not
Where they
that
put
big
this thing,
sensation.
you theoretically don't feel it, right? I mean, you're going to feel the kick
What,
from it, but
the
because
hybrid?
of yeah.
Well, we'll find out because I'm driving it in 2 weeks. But
Okay.
There's two motors. One is in the gearbox, and then one is in the turbo.
Right, which I've
So-
not seen before.
Yeah, so the one in the turbo allows them to reduce turbo lag,
Right.
right? Because it spools up the turbo,
Pre-spools.
and it allows them to go from two turbos to one. So it's a single turbo with a lag-reducing device rather than two smaller turbos.
Which is what we used to do to combat the lag.
So it'll be interesting. I mean, I think it'll be cool. I'm excited to drive it. But yeah, I don't. And they're going fucking electric in a lot of this
Yeah.
stuff. I don't see them dropping turbos unless. I mean, in fact, I think that it's possible the GT cars might be a NA motor with a hybrid.
I would see that sooner than turbo.
That's
yeah.
possible.
Right.
Yeah.
'Cause you're not messing, you're not gumming with what everybody loves about it. You're kind of you're adding things in other
Yeah.
places. In the
I drove
accessory
that
positions.
Vonnen thing, which was
Oh, yes.
a naturally aspirated Carrera with an aftermarket hybrid.
Oh, I heard about that.
The
Yeah, yeah,
hybrid
yeah, yeah,
motor
yeah.
replaced the flywheel. It worked.
That's what it is? The hybrid replaces the
replaced the flywheel.
Which is what that's what McLaren does, 296 does, right? Like it's in between
Okay.
transmission and engine.
Okay.
And I wonder if Vonnen developed that tech or just purchased the same tech. It was the radial motor, right? That's what it's called? Like the radial flux
I
motor?
don't remember the type of motor, but it
Looks like a thick
replaced-
frisbee,
Yeah.
basically. Wires going
Interesting.
inside, and that's
Yeah.
why it's so slim compared to a motor like in a Tesla or something where it's like this big
Yeah.
giant coffee can.
Wild.
Car
Pretty
felt
cool.
exactly the same, except 75 more horsepower, 75 more torque, and you heard a slight little electric hum when you went
Pedal
at it.
down.
Yeah. The video did horrible. Nobody cared. Nobody wanted to add an aftermarket hybrid system to their car.
I just feel like it's like the electrification of the 912s and 911s. Like everybody would say, oh, your classic car, they're going to run forever. Everything's going to be electric. So put your electric motor in it. And it just seems kind of a fad right now.
For sure. I'll tell you where I actually would want to put this electric motor in a 930 turbo. That's where
You could actually get rid
that's
of
where
the
I'd
lag.
actually want it. Yeah.
a
And I
four-speed
wouldn't have
930
to
turbo.
wouldn't have to tune the engine, leave the engine stock.
Right.
And I'd have some torque fill. There it is.
Here's I just wanna
That's
show
a hell of
him.
an idea.
So that's how the motor
Yeah.
works.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Weird looking.
And so the engine, I think, just moves back slightly, or does the engine stay? No, the engine stays in the same place.
Probably
It stays
stays in the same place.
Shrink the
Yeah.
housing,
Yeah.
the bell housing. Somehow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, it's cool. I think it would be cool in a 930 turbo, actually. Chris says, should I trade or sell my C5 Z06 and my daily driver 2008 Malibu? Yikes. To get an Elantra N next year, hoping dealer markups aren't crazy and interest rates go down.
To be very clear, I was
you
laughing at you, not the Malibu.
Yeah, you should wait and cross that bridge when you come to it. I can't predict interest rates.
Yeah.
Don't sell the car now, hoping the interest rates go down next year.
No, that's
But
some speculation.
You'll have more fun driving the Elantra N all the time. If you don't drive the C5, then now you could daily a fun car if you get an Elantra N.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. 2 more and then we're done. Watch question. Breitling Super Ocean 42 versus Zenith Defy Skyline for my next daily. Use cases: office, business casual, jeans. I'd get the Zenith. Breitling Super Ocean is a dive watch. I have one. It's a great watch. Thing about Breitling, sketchy people wear Breitlings. It's for fucking spies and kidnappers and shit. That's
Really?
who wears Breitlings. Yeah.
CIA.
I like that. But
Aren't there their print ads have like John Travolta, right? Isn't it?
oh, like I said.
Yeah. It's
Where does he fit in? Which category?
So I would probably go with the Zenith for the office vibe versus the Breitling Super Ocean, which is a dive watch. What are you showing me, Jay?
This was one of the Rocks Motorsports specials, the AK Rocks. We talked about them once a long time ago, but he made that for us and gave it to me. He buys a Seiko and then
did he hand drill out this bracelet?
Everything's hand drilled and hand aged and
That's kind of fun.
customized.
That's kind of fun. It's patinaed.
Yes.
Holy hell! Have you scratched this crystal up though?
No, that's him.
Oh, it's the crystal or the dial is scratched?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not a watch
It
guy. I
looks
wore
cool.
that for you.
Well, but the crystal. I'm looking through reflections. It's the dial. Okay.
Yeah, he
That's
he
cool.
literally takes it all
Yeah.
apart and
Yeah.
makes it all patinaed.
Yeah, I have some fake patina. It's fun.
Oh, you do?
should we talk
So I
about
thought you'd be
Seikos?
above that.
I wouldn't do fake patina on like a Rolex, but on a Seiko, yeah, fuck it. Who
Okay.
cares? Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what this is,
Fake
right?
patina is fun on a Seiko.
Should we talk
Yeah.
about this watch, Jay?
Oh gosh, yeah, that
is
just
that?
happened this morning. This is a collab with Sheffield All Sport Watches up there. He's doing a wonderful thing for Nicole's foundation.
Oh, is it? It's for the GoFundMe.
Yeah, for this
Okay,
whatever the
cool.
yellow face one here. It looked pretty cool. He reached out. We appreciate it when people
that's
do
very
that.
nice.
So
We
it-
had to do very little, but approve it, and he did all the work, and we're grateful for it.
So it's going to go on sale later this week. It says 38 millimeter, 40 millimeter, and 100% of the proceeds, not just the profit, goes to the Autoimmune Foundation.
The it's
amazing.
It's a tilted dial. It's like a driving
Cool.
watch
I
thing.
like it.
Except it doesn't work for me because I wear my watch on my right hand because I'm lefty.
So do I.
Will he make one with the dial tilted the other way for you?
Very good question.
Gotta
Didn't
tilt
ask.
the dial the other way, bro.
I'll ask that.
Gotta hit fucking Sheffield All Sport. We need options to tilt the dial both ways. Should
Well,
be possible.
I'm going to bring back the 80s fashion, just watches all over the place. 2, 3
Seven
swatch
fucking watches. You ever see
Remember that?
Buzz Aldrin?
No.
Motherfucker wears 3 watches.
Real? What,
Yeah.
lunar time?
I don't know, because who's gonna question anything Buzz Aldrin does?
I was
Yeah,
on the
he
moon.
punches you in the face, remember?
yeah.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that.
The guy accused him of the moon landing being faked, and he just looked at him. He just punches him in the face.
Can I sneak one in here? Because I don't know what this is, but you will, and we talked about DeLoreans. Mark Levy would like to know, when is he, being you, when is Matt going to apologize to the shanty DeLorean owner? Do you know what that means? Shanty DeLorean? It's in quotes.
Shanty DeLorean owner?
Yeah, it's in quotes. And Mark Levy's a DeLorean owner.
I have
Don't know.
no
All right.
idea what he's talking about.
Well, then I'll do it. I'll apologize to the shanty owner.
I don't know what that means. Why do
I thought you would know what it meant.
Did you call someone's DeLorean shanty once?
I mean, if I did, it's because I was calling him like I fucking saw him. Not my problem. I don't know.
There are some pretty shanty DeLoreans out
There
there.
are some terrible DeLoreans out there.
They were neglected for a long, long
Yeah,
time.
well, like fine, but like, it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
I have absolutely no idea what that
It might have
means.
been for me then. So like I said, sorry, shanty DeLorean.
I don't know.
Jay,
I'm sorry I
Jay-
brought it up. I thought you would know.
Nope.
How long ago did you get rid of yours?
I sold it in 2015.
It's almost 10 years. Jesus.
Someone sent me a photo of it like not even 6 months ago.
Do you know the owner? The current owner?
No, it's in Germany. It went to Germany.
You shouldn't be.
Yeah, it's in Germany.
Mine's in England.
It's in Bavaria.
You owned a
And-
DeLorean?
And a few DeLoreans. We built the Back to the Future car. What the hell's the matter with you? Are you kidding?
Well,
I didn't know that.
One is not related to the other.
Right.
But the guy drives it around on the Cali Blue Plate in Bavaria.
No way.
Yeah, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It's those cars like it's a shame that it takes so much to make them drive great and you aren't really left with any of the original car if you do that.
Kinda, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's a great
was fun.
car to like cruise around with at a medium pace, and we don't have that in LA. We have bumper to bumper traffic, which they're terrible at, and then we have bombing the canyons, which they're terrible at.
Yep. You
Yeah.
nailed it. Catherine DeLorean is like one of my best friends in the world. It has been
Yeah.
my whole life. And she's got this whole she's like trying to resurrect the whole.
Building cars is hard, dude.
Yeah, I'm really
cars.
impressed with her. I'm really impressed with
Building
everything
cars
she's
is
doing. So
hard.
shout out to Kat.
Yeah. Though, you know what's, I mean, do your thing, respect. But like, what's DeLorean people?
No, don't get started.
See the desire to have a new DeLorean as being a much bigger phenomenon than I think it actually is.
100%.
You know?
Yeah. 100%.
Like I don't. It's not like, oh my God, I've been waiting for a new DeLorean. Like, nah, dude, nobody cares.
No,
I think as an example, people love the car, not the brand necessarily,
Yeah.
and that is the error is to think people love the brand. And maybe some people do, but I think the larger, culture that is attached to the movie loves the car, not the brand.
I think that's what happened is that the car became the idea of the car became such a bigger thing than the actual car that like we're still trying to live up to John DeLorean's dream.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it's like, you talk about them being crappy cars. If the company was around more than 3 years, like they might have gotten okay. The cars might have been okay
it is possible.
Eventually.
They could have. Yeah.
So I think there's kind of that future that all of the DeLorean people would like to see lived out. This Cobra Kai version where Johnny isn't the bad guy.
Yeah. That's true. And DeLorean people,
you know what I mean?
They could be
there's some similarities.
They could help themselves. They could be a little less fucking dorky.
Sure.
They are the dorkiest people.
It's not their fault though. They like these things. I'm sticking up for the dorkies. They liked these things when nobody else did, and now it's cool to like them. Like it didn't used to be cool, so that was it was quirky people.
Fair.
And nowadays it's a mainstream like. It's Ghostbusters all over again,
Sure, I think it peaked in October of 2015 and has been downhill since then, which is right when I sold my car.
I thought you would be right about that, and I said the same thing. I go, finally we'll be done with Back to the Future. 30 years, we've passed the date, and it just picked up steam. There's a show on Broadway and in England. It just won't go away.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you there.
Okay.
I've not heard a lot about DeLorean culture really since 2015.
Okay.
I don't think the ball has been moved.
You're not
farther
following
forward.
the great build off between DeLorean Motor Company and Cat DeLorean and all that?
No.
Oh, there's good stuff going on. Good stuff. Pick a team, everybody.
I think 6 DeLoreans with LED torches are going to show up at WCCS one night and just be like, "Where's Matt Farah?"
I'm surprised we've never stored one. Never one.
You're kidding.
No, we never had one here.
That does surprise me.
I am surprised. We've had one of almost everything else, but we've never had one DeLorean. I'd like to. I'd like to come into work and look at one. Someone else's.
I'd rather have a DeLorean than a Cybertruck.
Oh, yeah. I won't store a Cybertruck. They're too fucking big.
One was up at Breakfast Club, and it just kept driving back and forth. And I swear, it felt like that scene in Cocktail. Like, look at with the girls pacing back and forth on the beat. Like, look at Pocahontas over there waiting for somebody to notice her.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
It's bad. Is it bad that every time
Great
I
line.
see one, I just look at the fucking person driving and go, ugh.
I don't even go that far. I just look away from the glimpse
There's
of
a
it.
lot up the road here with about 30 of them in there.
Oh, Tech City over here,
The
right?
unsold fucking inventory. They're just sitting there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, over right by in Marina Del Rey.
That's hilarious.
Next to the RV storage lot.
They're probably writing them off as different types of press cars and different. They're just sitting on. That's what happened with the DeLorean, by the way. Remember that?
Oh, dude. Well,
They said they sold a bunch, but they were sitting on at the port.
Well, my car was an '83, but it was built as an '82 and then was revinned as an '83 when they couldn't sell it.
Right.
My shit was fucking mix and match, dude.
Yours was put together afterwards by that company, that house wrecking company.
Fucking I had the HVAC controls from an '81.
Parts bin.
I had the radio from like an '82.
Yep.
The exhaust was from '83, but it didn't have the stripes on it like a lot of '83s had. And
did you have a flat hood? Was it a flat hood or a grooved hood, or did it have?
It was a grooved hood.
Nice,
but
82,
not a door flap. Not a gas flap.
Right.
So mine was a barn find. It had 2,400 miles on it when I bought it.
Whoa.
And the guy who bought the first owner bought it, and within a year was completely upside down on it because the company had gone out of business.
Sure.
He owed all this money to the bank. I have the service records. They were in the car. The car went back to get fixed like 9 times in the first 6 months. He
9
stuffed it
times.
in a storage unit in San Pedro.
Nice.
And then 30 years later he died. And I bought it from his daughter for like $10,000.
Became your problem.
And well, the title was gone. The bank that owned the title had gone out of business, so I had to get a title bond. I mean, the whole thing. But when I took the car to DMC, to the Winds, to be restored.
To Danny. Danny was doing it back then, right?
Danny was doing it. My car was the first car they did in Huntington.
Oh, no
so
kidding.
So when they opened Huntington, my car was the very first car they did.
All right.
And so Danny was like, this car is really neat because it's just got all this whatever was laying around, they just shoved in the car.
Totally.
Really funky.
There was that company that came in at the end, Consolidated whatever. And
I think it was called Consolidated Products.
And they just assembled with parts. This goes here, this goes here.
So crazy.
Hell of a story.
Last question, Troy Sanders. Can Porsche just admit that the GT2 RS is an automotive paradox? There's no base model GT2. Thus, my inner pedantic shakes violently at the fact they skip right to the RS model.
I'll admit it for you. I agree. Doesn't upset me or anything like him, but
listen, I don't give a fuck. Don't care. You know why? Because they're selling electric cars called turbo. Mm-hmm. There's much more egregious violations of nomenclature in Porsche's own universe.
Yeah, cheers to that. I agree with that.
The RS the GT2 RS is so clearly an RS product. And a base one did exist. There was 996 and 997 GT2s.
Right.
So it's not like it's out of nowhere just totally made up. So I don't give a fuck. I get it, but I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
And I cheers you.
Here's to your 7 caffeinated beverages.
Thanks a lot. My Smurf drink.
You are going to diabetes, my friend.
It's not like this normally. This is, my life is a little tough right now.
Yeah, this is like you get to escape and do a bunch of drugs here.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I smoke weed now. I'm finally smoking weed. You don't smoke weed anymore.
I don't smoke weed anymore, yeah. It's unfortunate. I miss it a little bit.
Yeah, Nicole, I'll probably, I don't know. It's sad to think about, but one day I'll probably just not smoke weed anymore because I'll associate it with all of this time.
Oh, really?
Of her declination.
Well, it does help her.
Yeah, that's the only reason we're doing it is because it helps her.
Yeah.
It helps her feel better a little bit.
Yeah,
She's on so many other
cure
painkillers,
MS, but it's like, it's a thing. It's a help. It is a help.
Yeah.
She seems to enjoy it.
I don't want to cry here at the end, so everything's pretty rough these days. But yeah, it's she does whatever she can.
Yeah. As much as she can enjoy anything.
Yeah.
Being in the woods and smoking a joint, simple pleasures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She can't even hold it anymore. You know what I mean? That's how, it's an ugly thing, MS.
Yeah. Go buy a watch from Sheffield.
Yeah.
Donate to the cause.
Looks super cool.
Well,
I like it.
When does that go up? This week?
They said it was going to be posted this week.
Okay,
so.
we'll share the link. We'll share the link in the show notes. Go
Thank
buy
you for bringing
watch.
that up.
A watch from Sheffield. Fucking make ones for lefties, guys. Come on,
yeah,
help us out.
It's a good point.
Help us out,
we need
people.
at least
Why do you
two
need
for
it
Matt.
tilted a different way? Because I also wear my watch in my right hand, like you. And
Did you see how the dial?
Yeah, it's like the 12 is over here by the 11.
So that if you're wearing your watch on this hand,
down.
when you're holding your wheel, it's vertical. But if you wear your watch on your other hand, it's turned even more.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah, it's other watchmakers have done, like, there's very famous driving watches that are meant to be held like this, where this will be vertical.
Right, I agree with you.
It's like clocking your tack on a 911.
Yeah. You know how they do that? They spin the tack.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Same concept.
It's that, but for watches.
Thanks for having me, you guys.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
I hope Newcomb's Ranch becomes like the thing.
Thanks, dude.
With bathrooms and a kitchen.
Well, there's still the idea
no
of
Wi-Fi.
No, there won't be any Wi-Fi. There's still the idea of a little Planet Hollywood surrounding ourselves with a little group of people who want to be involved in this. So that's a possibility as well.
Yeah. Planet Hollywood, huh?
Well, you know what I'm saying.
It's like,
Jay and his famous friends is all I meant.
I'll donate a hat. I'll give you some Demolition Man paraphernalia.
We'll give you a wax figure. It'll be great.
We should definitely have a Demolition Man wax figure up there. For sure. That's our show, folks. Next show will be Zach and I broadcasting from the Lucid Sapphire on the way back from our track day at Sonoma. Should be a good time if we don't die or melt our brains from acceleration. Thanks to our patrons for asking such good questions today, and we'll see you later. Bye.